Escape. The sun was merciless. It burned across the endless stretch of dry land, turning the earth into cracked gold beneath the sky. The air shimmered with heat, and the silence of the wilderness felt heavy, almost watching. Maya had no idea how she ended up here. One moment she had been hiking through a remote desert reserve, documenting wildlife for her vlog. The next, she had fallen, slipping down a hidden slope carved into the earth like a wound. When she regained consciousness, everything felt wrong. The air was thicker, the land looked untouched, wild, ancient. And then she saw them. At first, she thought they were shadows moving between the trees. But shadows don't breathe. Shadows don't stare. 4 figures slowly emerged from behind the twisted trunks of dry acacia trees. Their bodies were covered in dirt and animal hides. Their hair hung wild around their shoulders. Their eyes were sharp, cautious, curious, primitive. Her heart slammed against her ribs. They circled her silently, studying her as though she were something impossible, something not meant to exist in their world. Maya backed away slowly, raising her hands. "I don't want to hurt you," she whispered, though she knew they wouldn't understand. One of the men stepped closer. He pointed at her clothes, at the strange fabric, at her shoes. To them, she must have looked like a creature from another world. Fear tightened her throat. When one of the men reached toward her backpack, instinct took over. Maya turned and ran. The dry grass cut against her legs as she sprinted through the open land. She didn't dare look back, but she could hear them, heavy footsteps pounding against the earth, fast, strong. They were gaining on her. Ahead, she spotted a low, twisted tree with thick horizontal branches. Without thinking, she leapt and grabbed onto the rough bark, scrambling upward with shaking hands. Below her, the 4 men stopped. They looked up. Their faces were not cruel, but they were determined. One of them pointed. Another tested the trunk, as if calculating how to climb. Maya pressed herself against the branch, trying to steady her breathing. Sweat ran down her face. Her arms trembled from holding her weight. She was trapped. The land stretched endlessly in every direction. No roads, no buildings, no signs of the modern world. Only dust, heat, and these mysterious people who clearly saw her as something unknown. One of the men began climbing. Panic surged through her veins. She carefully moved along the branch, inching toward the outer edge where it grew thinner. The climber hesitated. The branch wouldn't support both of them. The other 3 began shouting in a language she couldn't understand. Their tones rose, arguing, debating. Then something changed. A distant sound echoed across the land. A roar, not human. Every head snapped toward the horizon. From behind the tall grass, a massive wild animal, something like a prehistoric bull, charged into view. Its horns curved forward like blades. Its hooves crushed the dry earth as it thundered toward the group. The men reacted instantly. They forgot about Maya. They grabbed spears that had been resting against a nearby tree and formed a defensive line. Their movements were coordinated, trained by survival. Maya watched in stunned silence. The animal charged. Dust exploded into the air. The men moved together, shouting sharply. One dodged left, while another thrust his spear forward. The creature roared in fury, swinging its horns. The fight was brutal and fast. Within moments, the beast collapsed in a cloud of dirt. The men stood over it, breathing heavily. And then, slowly, they looked back up at her. But something was different now. There was no anger in their eyes, only understanding. They had seen her fear. They had reacted to a greater threat instead of attacking her. Maybe she wasn't prey. The man who had climbed earlier stepped forward again, but this time, slowly. He lowered his spear and placed it on the ground. Then he stepped back. An invitation. Maya hesitated. Her muscles ached. Her arms burned from gripping the branch, and deep down she realized something terrifying. She couldn't survive this place alone. Carefully, she lowered herself from the tree. The men did not move. When her feet touched the earth,
The closest one extended his hand, not to grab, but to show something. He pointed to the fallen animal, then to the horizon, then to her. Food, shelter, protection. They weren't hunters chasing her. They were survivors, just like her. Tears filled Maya's eyes, not from fear this time, but from the overwhelming realization that survival had no language, no timeline, no era. It was universal. Slowly, cautiously, she nodded. The tension in the air softened. One of them offered her water from a carved wooden container. Another handed her a strip of cloth to shield her head from the sun. They began walking together across the golden land. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky an orange fire, Maya glanced back at the tree where she had clung in terror. Just hours ago, she had seen them as a threat. Now she saw something else. Humanity at its most raw, most ancient form. And as she walked beside them into the unknown wilderness, one question still lingered in her mind. Was she trapped among primitive humans, or had she simply traveled back to the beginning of what it truly means to be human?